Welcome to the annual or semi-annual Fireside Chat in which Uncle Eric comes to you live in front of a roaring fire. Ooh, it's very warm, that fire. To bring you gifts of holiday cheer. Advice today on where to find free software to get started, get restarted, or continue making music to make your 2025 the best music making year ever. So back here in my warm, cozy living room, and you're saying, Eric, I didn't even know you had a fireplace in Florida. And look at the snow outside. I mean, it's really a cold day. It's one of those 70 degrees and snowing days. You know, it happens in Florida from time to time. But yeah, we got the happy that we got the Christmas tree up and all the Christmas decorations up in our lovely living room. So today we're going to really see what's in store for 2025. We're going to talk about how to get started with what you need to succeed. Some free things, some cheap things. But first, folks, it's way too hot in here. So I think I'm going to have to go back to my normal studio. Well, welcome to a very special episode of the Make Music Income podcast. My name, in case you didn't know, and I'll put it right here in case you forget, is Eric Copeland. And on this show, we talk about the ever-changing world of music income every Friday at 12 noon-ish. He says at 12:36, including music licensing, music royalties, being a music composer, arranger, producer, or artist, sheet music, music teaching, church music, anyway, that I have found and keep finding to make music income. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to do it. This show is sponsored by MakeMusicIncome.com. You can see it right down there. MakeMusicIncome.com is our website and has all the links to all of our coaching and courses and also our free stuff, which we're going to talk about today. As a matter of fact, check out the description below to find out how to do a bunch of stuff for free, including our new free ebook that is in version 3 now, Tools to Make Music Income. We'll talk about that in just a minute, which you can find at MakeMusicIncome.com/free. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. I'll put that up on the screen as I talk here in case you want to write that down. Just jot that down on a little note right there, if you got it, on your little Christmas stationery that you got for Christmas. Make sure you join us also on YouTube every Friday around this time and be part of this live podcast. It's all the things, it's all I can do. I don't have time to do anything else, as you will learn in today's podcast. It's a good time to be Eric Copeland, and it's a good time to be you as well. You'll also find this podcast, an audio version, cleaned up a little bit, not language, because, you know, I can get salty at times. But you'll find it about Monday morning sometime. Every Monday morning, you'll find the podcast on Apple and Spotify podcasts if you just want to listen and drive around listening to this nonsense. Now, also follow us on wherever you hang out online. If you're an Instagrammer, if you're a TikToker, if you're somebody who's doing this all the time with your phone, I don't know what this is, like lighting, I guess. If you are a person who likes short media, well, I got short media for you too. It's not just this long broadcast that I do on Fridays. I have a little program and it splits it all up and chops it up into little bits. And you can get some of the best parts of each week's show on our shorts, on YouTube, on Reels, on TikTok, even on LinkedIn, X, and Facebook page. It's everywhere. We're everywhere. My whole team takes care of that. I have a whole team, right? There's nobody there. I hope this podcast and all my crazy, silly videos and courses and ebooks, I hope these sites, everything brings you encouragement. Encouragement's what I'm after. New ideas and current information, as current as I can be, to help you make the music that you love to make. It's the most important thing to me. And then take that music and make music income. This is a podcast, by the way. If you're like, what is all that? When is he going to get to the freestyle? I don't understand. When is he going to get to this? There will be these little markers down here. And you see, I had them. I just did a little bit of Q&A. And you'll find these little markers on the bottom of all these. And right now, this little marker is going to talk about Eric's week. And eventually, there'll be thumbnails too. And you can see thumbnails as well. So this is a podcast. Not going to get right to the point. I know you want me to get right to the point. I'm not going to do it because this is my podcast. And so all of this will be gone because when I go edit it in the morning, none of this it'll be just like a dream. Just like a dream. No one will ever know this has happened. But I like to talk about my week because every week something new is happening. And this could be stuff that could happen to you. I had a brief accepted with partners, and I may do more for this brief. It was my first brief from a new library, and it just happened to go along with the tracking session that I was doing, so good timing. And so that's been accepted. They want more, and there may be more. I have a second brief that I got from another library, which is a full album. And it's a pop album. So I'm looking for partners. If you're interested in being part of a likely placement. As a matter of fact, if you want to be part of the other brief, all of those got accepted. And pretty much everything I record for this is going to get accepted because we have our pulse on what the brief wants, and many have been accepted. So we've got some like easy ins in libraries right now with these briefs. So come along and be a positive spin partner. I'll talk more about that here in a little bit, or you can find information about it below. And you can email me about it if you're interested in being partners and getting your songs into libraries. And that's all we're going to be doing in 2025. I'll just tell you now. I'll just ruin the whole broadcast. That's what we're going to be talking about. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be cranking albums out every month. And we're going to be placing them. That's what we're going to be doing. I finished this week and pitched a Christmas harp album with Miss Ruth. I don't know if Miss Ruth is lurking here yet today, but Miss Ruth and I have been working on some harp things for a while, some Celtic harp. So this is kind of a Celtic harp Christmas album. It's already been kind of partially accepted by a library, and I pitched it to another one. So we'll see who likes it and needs it and thinks it could be most useful to them. Let's see. I got two artists out to... Let me say that in English. I got two artist Christmas songs out yesterday through DK, through DistroKid, and already they are on Spotify today. I literally put them out at 10:30 yesterday morning, and this morning, they're on Spotify. Craziness. So they're happy and excited and pushing those out to their fans. I have a few more to go. Those of you who I'm doing Christmas songs for, we can release this stuff all the way to Christmas Day. It'll be fine because Christmas will come every year. And really, we've been working on a lot of these Christmas singles as an album to pitch in the spring. Because as I heard from one library this week, pitching Christmas this time of year is a little early. In other words, they want it in the spring or late or early summer or something like that. Planning 2 other new sessions. These are going to be jazz tracking sessions in January. I've had a bunch of you interested in these sessions. Again, if you're interested in being part of Nashville tracking sessions that are going on, please email me in the Positive Spin Partners link down below. It's just an email. And email me if you are interested in working with me on those and want more information and or want to be on the list. Now, if you've downloaded one of our free ebooks or something like that, you are likely on our email list. If you're on the email list, you'll get an email when we are going to have a studio tracking session come up. These are going to be specifically tailored to jazz, like the ones last week were tailored to country. This week, they're going to be tailored to jazz. And that means we could do anything from jazz to R&B pretty much, but it's going to be in that kind of realm. And both these sessions coming up are really for albums that are already underway. One has been accepted already into a library, and I just need to fill it out a little bit. And then one is for a jazz club album that I've been working on for a while. So this is being done with my Positive Spin partners. And again, I'll just put up a little graphic here. If you're interested in being part of Positive Spin Partners, you can just email me at eric@makemusicincome.com. Jonathan says, news this week or last week, Pond5. John, don't spoil my news. All right, that's it. It's time for the news. Well, John spoiled it, but here we go anyway. Oh, we're back in my room. Thanks a lot for spoiling the news, John. So, yeah, there has been a development in the world of Pond5. And in Pond5, they sent us all an agreement update this week. And starting on January 15th, Pond5 will introduce new royalty rates. Artists will now earn a 30% royalty. We were earning 35%, and now it's only 30%. From licensing activity on Pond5, while exclusive video artists will earn an increased royalty. They want video people, apparently, especially exclusive video people. The new rates will also apply to the Pond5 subscription, global market earnings, and partner earnings, which are all not much. Given their restricted use and narrow license scope, data set earnings will now earn 20%. From what I understand, we were earning 50% of data set earnings before. So that big payment that everybody just got, I got about almost $600. I would probably get less than half that now. So there is some news and some thoughts about stock music that we're going to have to talk about in the days to come. But right now, that's where we are with this. And it's getting a little disturbing. I mean, news like this. I don't know how you feel about it, but if you have a thought, put it in the chat. I do have a little bit more news of something that happened. And Jonathan, you can't ruin this one because you have no idea what it is. It is that my friend Jesse dropped his 2025 music library directory. Now, this is an updated thing he does every year. I don't do one of these because he already does it. And you know what? It's really good. I bought it years ago and use it every year. And I've used it to find libraries. And every library you can think of is in this PDF directory. And so I highly suggest it. You can find a link down below on how to get to it. But make sure that you tell Jesse that Eric sent you, because that will do two things. Number one, it will make Jesse like me more. And number two, it will let you have an in with Jesse. You'll get to know Jesse. You'll get to email him and tell him that, and he'll email you back and say, hey, thanks for telling me. So yeah, the 2025 Music Library Directory. All of you, every show, ask me, where do I find a list of the libraries? Well, here it is, my friends. Right here, the Music Library Directory, the best one that I know exists. If that's something you're looking for, then I would highly suggest you pick it up. Right now, I want to talk a little bit about sync. I want to talk a little bit about sync in 2025 and my plans, and maybe these will affect your plans as well, because these are things I believe in and things that I think you should be doing. I have a video coming. Someone asked, am I going to have a video next on the 27th? I will. And it's going to be about how things have changed in 2024. For me, but also the landscape of licensing in general. And I am going to let you know that things are going to change for me in 2025. And I'm going to show you my numbers to a certain extent of how things went last year money-wise. And I have to tell you, it was not bad. And number two, I am going to talk about some numbers. I'm going to do some polls through the week and let you know what people have made, other people other than me. There are other people making music income that don't talk about it. And eventually, it's possible I may be one of those one day. That may be what we talk about next week, to be honest with you. For 2025, if you have been or will be or would like to be a Positive Spin partner, you better hold on to your butts, because 2025 is going to be crazy. Same for you, Nashville players and engineers. We have 2 new libraries that are bringing us briefs, and I've already fulfilled 3 briefs in the past, and then my other library brought me a brief earlier in December, and we filled that, and that was for a specific show, and now is in the library up on a BMG library. It's crazy, and it's continuing, and it's not stopping. And I have a 4th library that's not necessarily bringing me briefs, but they are accepting a lot of things, and I basically kind of have a brief because they accepted an album that's halfway done, and so I'm finishing up for them. And they've got me placements on CBS and on TCM and on other places. So things are just happening. Crucial Music, we're getting covers accepted. So if we're doing a whole album of covers right now, and just putting all kinds of different music covers up there. If you're wondering, do music libraries accept covers? Well, this one does. Crucial Music, which is a non-exclusive library, accepts covers. They're very picky, but they have accepted almost all the covers that I've put up. I'm looking at more libraries. I'm always making sure that I have enough to do. There will be a time sometimes when you pause getting into new libraries because you have enough to serve, and I may be at that place right now. I may get into direct pitches. I'm actually working directly pitching to music supervisors or sync agents. I have a video about this coming up, and maybe there might be a guest with that. But I still have my doubts about a life filled with pitching to things that I don't know exist versus filling up libraries. I'm kind of in the filling up libraries mode personally, and I think that's how sync in 2025 is going to go for me. Last year, I wanted to do a lot, and we'll talk about that next week, but I wanted to do it, and I didn't really do it as much as I had. But I had something else going last year, and then that stopped, completely came to a screeching halt in September. And we're going to talk about that, and that was part of how things changed last year. But a lot of other things changed. Sync changed for me in the fact that I got more libraries, but stock changed. We're going to talk about all that next week. The last thing I want to talk about in sync for 2025 is that I am seeing with briefs coming in with libraries, and I'm not talking about a library that sends it out to the world and says, we need this. I'm talking about the president of a library who comes to me specifically wanting 4 songs in this, or 10 songs in this, or as many as I can give them in this for a specific television show. That is called catching. It's not called pitching. It's called catching. And when you can get to the place where you are catching, to me, that is the real key in this, where you're catching opportunities and then you're giving them. You're not pitching, hoping that someone's going to give you something. They are already giving it to you. All you have to do is complete it and finish it. And so sync for me is changing. And this is probably another section of my getting in sync course that I need to put into it. It's a chapter on catching. And it's not something I made up. It's something I heard from another person who's been on this show before. But I see the value of it now. You're catching from clients. You're catching jobs. You're getting jobs rather than pitching to them, hoping that they'll take what you're doing. Kind of cool. Just other things I think about 2025, and especially licensing and publishing other than sync in 2025. Other than my Pond5 income, Motion Array income, Audio Jungle income, and Song Trader income, I haven't seen a ton of income this year from the stock licensing side. Now, it's pretty funny because once you see the numbers next week, you're going to be surprised. I'm surprised, and we'll talk about that. Does it have to do with data set earnings? Does it have to do with some other weird thing that happened? I don't know. But let's just say stock income did not go down for me in 2024. So we're going to talk about that next week in detail. But I'm starting to wonder, even though I've had some odd payments from deposit photos and little things like that, and with Pond5 making the decision they've made today to start paying us less, which all I did, by the way, was raise my prices. When Pond5 decided to start paying us only 30% instead of 35% on sales, I just raised my prices up more than 5%. If you're on Pond5 and you've got doubts and or done well on Pond5, give me a thumbs up in this video. Motion Array continues to be strong for me, and we'll talk about that next week. That's an interesting change at Motion Array, especially for my effort with Motion Array last year. Crucial Music is accepting songs and accepting a lot of covers, but they're very, very slow. If you ever think that the sync music industry is slow, you should work with Crucial Music. I love them because you can see, and I love them because they are so particular and so careful who they allow in their library. But I love them because they show you who they're pitching to. It's very cool. But you have to be good, and you have to be something that they want. I don't know if it's about good or not. I've put a lot of great things up there that they've rejected. And it's just, do they think it's syncable? Do they think this will go behind a television show that they get briefs for? So, but Crucial Music is a good place to do, like, especially if you want to get into the sync world of, they are a sync library. They're just non-exclusive. And so I mention them a lot when I talk about non-exclusive libraries like Pond5 and Motion Array, because they are non-exclusive. Audio Jungle, I'm currently frozen on Audio Jungle right now because of a tax form I didn't fill out or something. So I've got to fill something back and literally mail it back to them. Yes, snail mail it back to them. Crazy. Audio Sparks, you know what? We'll talk about this again more next week too. But and the problem with Audio Sparks, you really can't quit Audio Sparks. It's in your contract that it's perpetual. So that's a problem for me because as I keep going farther into sync, I realize there are some songs that are non-exclusive that I would like to have to put in exclusive libraries, and they're not available anymore. Another place that does that is Content ID. And here's an interesting thing with Identify that I did. I put my songs in Identify, and I have a bunch in there. And I asked them if I could take out, I think just one song or two songs or something like that. I said, I really need these two songs. I'd like to put them in the library or something. They responded with an email, your entire catalog will come down in February. Now, I don't know if that's because I've been with them for 3 years in February, and so maybe I have to re-up with them. I don't know. But I'm considering taking all my music out of Content ID. Should I? Everyone that wants to stay in Content ID does so because they're afraid someone's going to steal their songs and use their songs and put them in Content ID themselves. And let me tell you, the $11 I got for August doesn't scare me. If somebody wants to make $11, maybe I'll let them make it. I'm just not so sure. Content ID continues to go down while more videos are getting claimed. My claimed videos are going up. There's more people using my music than ever, like 6 times more than ever, 10 times more than ever. And I'm getting 10 times less than ever in my monthly income from Content ID. Something is weird. Something is rotten in Denmark. Is Content ID in Denmark? I don't know. But I'm worried about that. I'm wondering about that. If anybody has any thoughts about that, give me a thumbs up and let me know, and put it in the chat here or put it in the comments below after this video is over. I do have a new stock library that I'm put stuff in, and it's getting some traction. I don't know enough about it yet and haven't been paid by it yet or know if I'm going to get paid by it yet. And so I don't want to talk about it yet. But I will talk about it once I see some actual action. I know somebody else who's made money on it already. And again, I'm not sure if it's enough to say we all just need to be doing non-exclusive stock music. I can understand wanting to do non-exclusive sync music and then use it anywhere you want to. Now, there are people watching this. Wolfgang is watching this. He is someone who puts hundreds and hundreds of songs up there and makes hundreds and thousands of dollars there. But Wolfgang makes thousands of songs everywhere and puts them everywhere and makes thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. So that's what happens when you have, 3,000 titles in your PRO, or you have 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever out there. That's what happens. You get a lot used, and you get a lot more than if you have 10 or 50 or 100. I have done quite a bit of giving you some information today, but I want to give you a little bit of information on some free and cheap music tools for 2025, so that if you don't know about these, then I would suggest them to you. Some of them I just found out about. Actually, one thing I'm going to talk about, I just found out about this, and it has kind of blown me away. And by the way, there is an ebook about tools to make music income. I'll talk about that at the end. But what I want to start with today is Fracture Sounds. And I've been watching some of their new libraries come out, and very interesting. But what I didn't know until I did a little research is they have an entire library of free instruments, including a string trio, sounds very nice, gentle brass, short strings, feedback guitar, epic grand, drum kit, gentle strings, toy piano, textural violin, festive bells, just all sorts of electric keys, gentle winds, all sorts of things that they have for free. And even they have the whole thing up here, the Blueprint collection. You can just download the whole thing at once. And it's really cool. If you are a Native Instruments person, it works with your Native Instruments installer, and it installs right into your Native Access, and comes up. If you have this kind of keyboard where you can control it, you can access them from NKS type stuff. But these are really cool, really nice. I think their interfaces are really interesting, and where they've got videos for every single one. So you could go watch videos now to see if you want these and get them. But they're pretty simplified. So for instance, this Free Solo Strings has sustain, staccato, and pizzicato things there. But they also have a mic mix, which I think is really cool, and a kind of perspective mix. And just super easy, but super nice sounding free things. So if you are at all interested in strings or orchestral stuff, there's a lot of stuff here, I think, that you might want to look at. But if you're not interested in orchestral, there's still a lot of stuff. Feedback guitar, a piano, a drum kit, lots of other things, the pads and ambient stuff, electric piano, ethereal texture. So just all sitting there, waiting for you to get it for free. And I've been very interested in what they've come up with of late. Next up is Orchestral Tools and their Sine player, and they have a collection of really nice instruments, and they don't get talked about enough. I'm a huge Orchestral Tools fan right now. I just downloaded a First Chairs thing, which is all the first chair players of the strings. Not to be confused with the brand newest thing they put out, which is Solo Strings from their Berlin category. I'm not sure that that's for me, but it sounds really nice. But these are all free. Free studio voices, free flute, free tone wheel organ, free electric basses, free electric piano, free jazz flute, free ukulele, free drums and percussion, free felt piano, acoustic guitars, church organ, big band horns, free string ensemble, free studio percussion. And they don't even talk about the free orchestral instrument they have called Layers, which is only a little limiting because it's mostly chords and things like that. So if you're a chord player or you're just looking to do some orchestral chords and things like that, Layers is also free. And you can get the free Sine player. And what's really cool is the free Sine player is very much like the Native Access one. You can shop right there too. So if you need a French horn, you can go buy a French horn and it'll be in your Sine player. And then you can start playing it. So very cool. But this is all free. Absolutely free. Spend your Christmas going back through all of these. I'll put all the links down below. I haven't yet. And to all of these pages. But get yourself some free stuff from either there or from Fracture Sounds. But I'm not done. If you're one more thing for orchestral people, that you probably know about, and that is Spitfire's Discover. I talk about it all the time. Spitfire's Discover Orchestra, absolutely free. You don't have to wait 2 weeks anymore or pay $14. It's absolutely free, and it's just a great orchestra, and it's one mic way up high, so you're really getting just a room sound of the entire orchestra. But let me tell you, it really works nicely behind other things. So if you combine this, for instance, with some of the stuff from Orchestral tools and from Fracture sounds, you would have Orchestral coming out your ears, and you'll be in really good shape, and that would all be for free. So if you're someone who is just getting into this and you're really looking to see, how can I get started with making sounds, especially anything having to do with orchestral, these first three, I would really suggest the Fracture Sounds Blueprint series, everything to do with Orchestral tools, free stuff, and the Symphony Orchestra, the Discover version of the BBC Symphony Orchestra. I have since moved up to the Pro version. Not the Pro version, the core version of the Symphony Orchestra. I probably will stop there because I have bought a lot of the leaders and other things from other libraries, and I have a bunch to combine with the BBCSO. But I just think it's a nice orchestra. Now, if you're not an orchestral person, but you still need free stuff and beats, all sorts of stuff, Native Instruments has upped their bundle. Their bundle has gotten bigger. And now they have stuff like this whole band plug-in. They've got the audience choir from Jacob Collier, which is cool. But all of these other things, HiFo and synths and ROM and a lot of things. So you've got a lot of these instruments and sounds, acoustic drums for this thing called Leap, which is a creative sampler for loops and things like that. Analog Dreams, HiFo, Ethereal Earth. I use this Jacob Collier audience thing all the time. I just used it on somebody's demo, not demo, but a Christmas single. They needed a choir. Boom. Irish harp. I just did a whole Irish harp album. And then a Chinese instrument, and then their whole factory selection too, which is huge, very large. So if you're someone who wants effects and you want beats and you want chords and you want all this kind of stuff, then you really need to get yourself this complete start. It's free, and get yourself started in this complete system, because you can even start to upgrade from there. So I highly suggest it. The other thing I can't suggest high enough is Musio. Folks, Musio is like a secret weapon I have right now, and I've been using it. I don't know what I would do without it, to be honest. I mean, I have a lot of good orchestral things, but the cool thing about Musio is it not only has orchestral, but I can go get odd things like a celeste or ancient flutes. I've been using a lot of stuff off the Ireland series they have there. And of course, they have all the Cinebrass, Cinestrings, all the stuff, solo stuff, and then the pro stuff. But here's the biggest reason you should get it, and you should get it right now, is the pricing right now. Right now, look at this holiday sale. It doesn't get better than this. $0, 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. You can try it out for free, or for almost free, for $3. Try Musio. You will want it. And then you can buy it either for $9.99 a month, or I think it's $99 for the year. That's what I did. Last year, when I was teaching, I could do the $49 a year. So if you're a student or you're a teacher, then you can do the $49 a year. But I even upgraded at $99 just because it was so helpful. You can also buy it for $199, the holiday sale, forever, and have what they call Musio 1, which is everything up till now. But what I've seen is they add all the time. I just went in there the other day and they'd added stuff. So I kind of stay on this like yearly fee, and I think that's a better way to go because it's super helpful. But you can't beat 99 cents for your first 3 months. Go do that. Just go do it. I mean, it'll give you so many sounds, and it's not just orchestral. It's world, it's pop, it's synthesizers, it's everything. And this might be the best deal of all of them as far as the quality that you get and all the articulations and everything that you get. I just think this is a really super, super duper deal. Then I want to talk about Logic. If you need a You say, okay, Eric, great. I have all the things I need. You've given us all these sounds, but now I need a DAW to play it with. Well, I'm going to suggest Logic Pro. And it's probably not a surprise to you because I've been a Logic person for 20, 30 years. A very, very long time. About 25 years, at least. And it continues to get better. It also gets more usable for people who aren't longtime users like me. But if you can't afford, and by the way, it's unlike Pro Tools, unlike a lot of these which charge you per year, Apple is a one-time price for $199. And if you are, again, as a student, you can get a better deal that's $199 for all of the things. I don't know if they have that deal here. You can dig and find it, but it also, you can get Logic Pro and Final Cut Pro for $199, and you still get 3 other things. It's a crazy deal for students. But if you're looking for I'm a Logic person, I'm going to suggest Logic. And if you can't afford that and you have an iPad, I would also suggest Logic Pro for iPad, which has a lot of the same capabilities, but you can try it for free. And then after you try it for free, it's, I think, $4.99 a month if you want to continue using it. But the problem with this is you really can't then access all your libraries and stuff that you would download from all of the places I just showed you. So you really do need either Logic. If you can't afford Logic and you need something now and you need something free, well, then I'm going to suggest Reaper. Reaper is continuing to grow as a popular DAW. And my brother used to love it. I've used it before. It works great. It starts free. The highest price you have to pay is what, $60. You can buy a commercial license for $225 if you really like it. But I know people who have tried it for free for a very long time. They have been evaluating it for quite a while. So I would suggest Reaper as a free DAW to start with, and then go get yourself all of these free sounds at these places I've been talking about. Get Start, get Complete Start. Why don't you have it? And get Musio. Just Start, and Musio would be a great start, so to speak. So, and then if you just really don't have any money, then Reaper, Musio, and Complete Start is where I would go. Also, remember, I have for you, you can go to makemusicincome.com/free. But if you go here, you're going to see all of our free ebooks and stuff. You can even start both our courses for free. If you just haven't won any of them or anything like that, and you want to see what they're like, they both start for free, by the way. But the one that I want to talk about is this one here, and that is tools you need to make music income, and that is in version 3. I just updated it. I need to update it again now that I found out about fracture sounds, because I think I'm going to make sure those are in here, because I think those are fantastic free things. And there's probably more free things I can do. I do talk about Reaper and things in there. And I have links in this ebook to all the places and things I was just talking about. Remember, if you're interested in being part of all these briefs I get, all this catching that I'm doing of music, and you want to be part of our Positive Spin Partners program, please email me at eric@makmusicincome.com, and I will we'll privately email about that, because that's not a public thing. It's by audition only as well. Gregory says, your insight is a gift, and that's enough. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you for that gift. So yeah, make sure you email me, and you'll find that information below in the description. And other than that, thanks for joining me for this. See, the end always goes bad. Thanks for joining me at the fireside. It's nice and cozy in here, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. And you're with family and you're with friends. Give yourself the gift of some of these free things and make some great music. Dex Williams says, Happy Christmas from the UK. Thank you so much for being here, and happy Christmas to you. And may you have a great new year. We're going to talk. We're not to the new year yet. We've still got another day next week, next Friday. I'm going to be talking about what's happening with me, with this channel, with the stuff that I'm doing, and what happened in 2024. Money-wise, and you're going to want to see that. So make sure that you come back for that. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week on the Make Music Income podcast. Thanks very much. Merry Christmas.